sir.
Okay, Ken Kraetzer, Canvas Media. Coach, getting set just a couple of days before you travel down to Louisiana, Monroe. How do you feel about your defense starting the year?
You know what? We've gone through some spells where we're hitting it on all cylinders. You know, and I felt really good and hit a little bit of a lull here lately, and just got to get it turned back around. I think there's some guys that come out there every day and shine and man, I'm excited as I can be, but we still got to bring on some younger guys in our two deep and get them up to speed on what we're doing and how to do it, and just finishing plays. So I think that time is coming, but right now we still got just a little ways to go.
And we see Kyle Lewis got the start on nose tackle with Darius Richardson at the number 2. How did Kyle's game mature this year?
Really well. I thought Kyle would have got a lot of reps last year, but he got hurt. You know, just had an injury that kept him out off the field, and he got healthy, and he's a leader out there. He gets out. He's got a great attitude. Moves around really well, and I like him in both rushing the passer and beating blocks for the run game.
How about Spencer Jones? I remember interviewing him when he was a freshman here. He's had injuries, but he's come back. And how do you feel like he can approach this his senior season?
Well, I was hoping that Spencer would make it back to the way he was playing his freshman year. He stepped in the Liberty Bowl and just did a great job for us, but just injuries have taken a toll over the years, and he's fought his way back and is back up there at that number 1 spot at linebacker, and I'm excited and hoping for good things for him.
Well, I thought I'd just ask you about the offense at Louisiana Monroe. They had I think it was 5 players transfer out, a couple of tackles, running backs, and a quarterback. But they brought a lot of players in. What do you see in the offense at Louisiana Monroe?
That's a great question. I think it's hard to get a feel for what you're going to see when there's so many transfers, going in and out. And sometimes it's a really good thing, and sometimes it's a really bad thing. So I see names at the depth chart that I know have played at other places, and how quickly they get in tune to their offense is that's what we'll see on Saturday. I think the quarterback has been there for a while. Jai is a guy that when he gets the ball in his hands and he starts to run with it, he's hard to catch. He's elusive. He's got good speed. He can make plays when the play breaks down. He can extend it. And he's got a good arm. I think he's been in the backup role the last few years, and now it's his time. But we got some film on him from years past that where he's gotten in there and done a good job. So I think offensively they'll have some guys that they can go to that can make some plays. They got receivers that are outstanding. They got some tailbacks that have been at other places that have transferred in that I'm anxious to see who they do line up with back there.
And a big offensive line.
Yeah, really big. I think they had a couple of guys that transferred out that were pretty good, but they got good size, and those guys did a nice job for them last year. Offensively, you look at some of the teams that they played last year, and you get the Power 5 schedule, and it just maybe wasn't fair to ULM to judge them off of some of those tough games that they got to play. But they came back and won some games that they look very impressive in. So they can put some points up on the board. That's a fact.
Thanks, Coach.
Sure.
We'll go to Sal on Zoom.
Thanks.
Oh, sorry, Coach. We have some on
Oh,
Zoom for you.
sorry.
Sal, do you want to start?
Hey, Sal.
How are you?
Good.
Can you talk about the three defensive captains, Jimmy, Leo, and Austin, how you see them kind of, I know they had spring to kind of, just how you see them leading the defense and the team in the preseason leading up to the season opener?
Well, they're all good leaders, and you know, when you're voted a captain, that's a incredible honor, and they don't take it lightly. That's that's for sure. They stand up and they lead in the right way. But I got to be honest with you. There's a ton of guys at this school, on this team, with the defensive unit that lead in the right way. And the first thing that you always ask yourself as a coach is, what is your leadership like? And if you've got good leadership, then you've got some confidence going into the season. And we do. We've got three really good leaders, but I would say, you know, those are the ones that were chosen captains. But we've got a ton of great leaders, and yeah, I think you know, just the ones that were chosen just happened to be you know, on defense, you know, where we had three of them, and you know, I think those guys have stepped up and you know, been very productive on the football field, but also shown leadership skills off the field, and I'm anxious to see how that factors into our season.
I was going to ask you, just last one, what Q Hammonds means to the defense.
I tell you what, Q has been a guy that I've had a great deal of respect for. He's just a tremendous worker. He has a great deal of confidence, and all the guys respect him. He's another one of those guys that could have very easily been one of the captains on our team, but I'll say it again. You know, I don't repeat myself, but we've got great leaders here, and Q is you know, second to none. He's just an outstanding leader for us, and a playmaker. He's done some great, you know, he's made some great plays back there in the secondary, whether it's you know, pass breakups, you know, in the ULM game last year in the end zone, or you know, in rivalry games as well. And a guy that has an awful lot of speed. Yeah, so it's good to have some speed back there in the secondary with him.
Go to Charles.
Good afternoon, Coach. Charles Griggs here, GoBlackKnights.com.
Hey Charles, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Hey, I want to go to the subject you talked about a minute ago, transfers in and out. I listened to Coach Bowden the other day talking about the transfer portal, and he said that, you know, it impacts his program because it doesn't always allow him to be consistent compared to Army, where the transfer portal is not an issue per se. He was comparing the fact that you guys have an experienced defense, whose guys have been around for 3 or 4 or 5 years. Do you feel that gives you any slight advantage, particularly going into the first game?
I think that anytime that you have experience coming back, absolutely it gives you an advantage. I think that anytime that you've got good senior leadership or leadership in general, anytime that you've got some experience as far as guys have lined up and got a lot of snaps under their belt, then you give yourself an advantage. But I also see the way the college game has gone as far as coaches going out and getting players at positions that they need help at, and the transfer portal has been something to where you don't have to just bring guys along and you know, wait till they're developed. You can go out and get guys that are you know, pretty good, and you know, for whatever reason they're leaving the place that they were at. You know, that's what you got to sit down and do a good job of saying, you know, balancing out on whether you want them on your team. At Army, I think we've got a great chemistry. I think guys believe in one another. I think when people talk about the brotherhood here at Army, it's for real, and they believe in one another. They care, and they play for one another. And when you can get guys that believe in the team more than me, then that's an incredible advantage over whoever you're playing.
Great. And my follow-up and final question, aside from the game itself, is it safe to start calling Army second coming of linebacker university with former linebackers Radigan, Carter, and Christensen on NFL rosters? But honestly speaking, I mean, how does that make you feel knowing that these guys are coming out of this program?
You know what, I thought that before I ever came to Army, I think what I thought about this place was that there would be tough guys that would walk out onto a field and you'd go to battle with, and you'd feel confident. I feel like guys that would step up and be intelligent, tough, hard-nosed football players, and I think the NFL wants that. And you know, not just the linebackers. I think you know, Andre is a long body guy and has incredible flexibility for that length and good speed, and you know, did a great job for us. You know, his junior year he had a ton of sacks, and that impacted offenses, you know, the following year, to where teams didn't throw the football down the field as much, not nearly as much. They didn't hold on to the ball. The ball came out in 2.2 seconds or 2.0 seconds, a lot more than his senior year. So that helped us end up, you know, number 3 in the country in total yardage given up defensively in the passing game. You know, I think, and then you look at John Radigan and the kind of season that he had for us. He just made up his mind that he was going to be, you know, a great football player and a great teammate for us his senior year, and he was. And whenever you got someone that has a tenacity about him and you know, high achieving goals like that, of course, again, you're going to want them on your team, whether it's college or NFL. And you know, Cole Christensen graduated before you know, before I got here, but I, you know, so many great things about him, and such a fantastic football player that you know, I love watching, you know, him, you know, on the NFL squads as well. And Elijah Riley is another defensive guy that has really stepped up and played well as a nickel in the NFL. So I'm proud of all of those guys. I want them to have great careers, and I think all of them want to be great officers in the Army when they get that opportunity as well.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
We'll do 2 more if we can.
Hey Nate, Ken McMillan with the record.
Hey, Ken.
Hey Nate, what do you like specifically about this 2023 Army defense?
I think that we've got a mix of experience, and then we've got some athletic guys that are young. You know, those athletic guys will push those seniors, you know, at a lot of positions. You know, as we, you know, move on towards the season, and it'll be interesting to see, you know, how that pans out. Like I said, experience is something that every coach wants, you know. But when you get those young guys that are really pushing the older ones, then you got a good feeling about where your program is going. So I'm anxious to see how you know, how quickly the young guys become assignment sound, and how hard they push the upperclassmen and what they do. Because once you get competition for positions, you continue to get better. And I thought last year, you know, our defense got better as the year went on, and yeah, that's a good feeling, you know, to see guys, you know, compete day in and day out, and go in there and just still keep a confidence when things might not be going their way. They still keep that confidence that they're going to be good, and they did. They picked things up really well over the last part of the season, and I'm proud of them for that.
So you don't see much of a difference from last year's team to this year's team as far as approach or skill sets?
I think again, I think there's a lot of competition at most of the positions that we have, and we've got some experience in the secondary at linebacker. We've also got some injuries that you know we got to be able to overcome, and you know we may get some of those guys back somewhere around the middle of the season, but until we get them back, you know, some other guys got to step up and make plays, and that's a little bit like what we looked at last year. You know, some guys had graduated and moved on that had a lot of experience under the belt, and this past season, you know, we had some new starters at positions and had to sort of grow into the position and get better as the season went on, and they did. So a little the same this year.
All right, thanks guys. We're gonna move to.
Charles mentioning about.
Sorry, Ken. We're gonna go to Chris Frey next.
Yep, you're good.
Sorry,
Coach.
after Coach Woody. All right.
Sorry. See you, Ken.
See ya.